Alright, I just washed this. I'm gonna start on this side. See the cracks. This one cracked probably about 4 months after I bought them. Cracks all on the black. It's only on the black, not the red. Just on the bottom where the sun hits it. Not on the top, only on the bottom.
Okay, move over. We're gonna move it.
I'm gonna mask it off. It's really your choice on where you want to start the line. I'm going on the lines from the factory.
There we go.
There's a little edge that I'm following. If I can't see it. Make your cuts so it'll lay down nice. And so forth. To do this job, you're gonna need a razor blade and some blue tape. I got a couple different ones. I'm starting with this one. This is the trickiest part of the start. I used 3 pieces of tape for this one. When you come to this one, you'll see it's tricky. Now that I dug my fingernail in the grooves, I'm gonna cut this excess off. This is no good, this is no good, and this is no good. We're just trying to cover this piece and this piece. Like that. This is the first part. The one around what I'm showing you here is easy, but it's just this one. We're gonna cover the red. Put it on the black lines. So you don't have to cut that part. I haven't pushed them down yet. I'm gonna. But because we're gonna work on this, the black. Run your fingernail along this edge, because that's what we're gonna cut.
Did you fall?
It's ready to trim. This is what it should look like.
Shoes on? It's not pokey over there?
This is already trimmed, except for right here and here. I'm gonna fix that right now. Alright, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start Run it along that edge. Like that. This part right here is pretty tricky. You gotta be real easy when you get this and go around corners. It's all cut up, pretty much from what I think. Let's see if we can do this. You see it start looking in the wrong place, just stop. There you go. I'm just going to tape the back for the wiring now, the bag, and I can start sanding all the black on here. That's what I'm going to be painting with plastic paint, PHT. I'm just going to use a regular little bag to cover the back and tape it up. And to tape the back up, I'm going to be wetting it over and over again, cleaning it. You need some good tape, just 3M. It's like one of the better ones, probably like $9 or $10 for this, but it works for anything. Basically making a little, just putting the bag over it, and I'm going to tape it on there so I can get it wet. There's one. There's another. Put that back, Canyon. Damn it. Canyon, bring that back. This guy's crazy. It's sealed. I can get it wet now. After I sand it and stuff, I'm gonna dry sand it, not wet. It takes too long. I'm gonna start sanding it with 400 dry. Scuff it up so the plastic paint has something to stick to.
About this outdoor mosquito candle, it blows.
Oh shoot. I forgot, I actually got to cover the brake light and the reverse light. Put it right on the top of the white line or bottom, whatever you feel comfortable with. So you only have to cut one 1.5 lines. Run your nail through it. Oh, that's where you're gonna cut. There. And like that. Let's cut this. And just gotta clean up a little area, that's it. That's what it looks like completely. I messed up earlier, I didn't put that on there, sorry. But it actually looks cool like this. Just stuff it up. Try to stay away from the tape, of course. But the tape is pretty good if you clean the surface and it sticks well. Get rid of those nasty scratches, or just smooth them out so that when you paint it, it ain't gonna be look bad. It won't stick up. Alright, I got it pretty much sanded where I want it. I'm gonna wash it. Just before, I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of plastic paint. This is what I'm using. VHT plastic paint. Autozone. You see the deep cracks, or the cracked black paint that they put. All that, I'm gonna patch all that. All that. Just want to cover it just a little bit. Let it dry. Fill those cracks. Real light. This stuff will wrinkle. I think the first one that I did, the driver's side, took like 5 coats. I kept sanding it and sanding it, painting it, sanding it, painting it, sanding it, sanding it, painting it. You can see it's filling in the cracks, all on the bottom. It's already filling it. When it dries, it'll seep in there. I'm just gonna cover the cracks, fill it in. This stuff will not crack, flake, or peel. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing this time. I'm only gonna focus on where the cracks are. And then later on, do the whole surface. The cracks are what I'm really wanting to give detail to. The cracks are really up on top. That's where the sun hits, bakes it. Second coat. Oh fuck, I gotta run. Oh well, but I'm gonna sand it, so it's not a big deal. You get runs in it, it might be wrinkling. Shit. No, that's on the tape. I'm not worried about that. We're worried about this part. I was tripping. That's on the tape. That's tape. So we're good. Looks pretty good actually. We can see where some cracks were right there. Or just a piece of lint or something. But it looks good. You can barely see the cracks, right? You can't even see them right now, but it's wet. But all right there, that's where all the cracks were. Looks good. Looks really good actually. Look at that. Look at that gloss. That was cracked all right there. This line right there that goes in there. It's pretty shiny for being all cracked. But you could see a crack. It's ripply. All along right here. It's ripply. I just gotta hit probably 3 or 4 more times. But it'll come out because I've done it before. I actually hit it with a 3rd coat. So I'm gonna let it dry until tomorrow and then I'm gonna sand it. So I did 3 coats so far. It looks pretty good. That's where the cracks were earlier. There's just a little something right there. You can see it right there. But it looks pretty good. It's easy to get runs when you're doing the top because it'll fade down. It looks pretty good though. There's a little run right there. I don't know if you can see that. There you go, right there. You're gonna do it. It's just gonna happen, especially if it's your first time. This is my 2nd time. Those cracks are pretty much gone all along that brake light. I'm impressed. This is way faster. It's taking me only like an hour. Alright, this is day 2. Looks pretty freaking good. I'm not gonna lie. I do see a little bit of marks right here. You can see those lines right there. I just need to sand this whole thing. You see this whole top part needs another shot, but I'm gonna sand it before I do it and probably hit it maybe twice light and it'll be done. All these major cracks that were right here are gone. There's not really any right here. I just gotta sand it and make it smooth. It looks pretty damn good. So now I'm gonna move on to this bitch. This one I haven't done anything with before. I did the other one of the small one. That's the passenger. I did the driver months back. It took me a long time actually. This one was cake. This one, I'm gonna start by loosening these bolts right here and taking off this strip right here so I can access right here. These screws right here, they're all along it. Just 2 small ones are a little bit different from these. It's like this, and the other ones are like this. There's one here, and one that goes right here. They're actually held on by clips after that. Just want to kind of pry it back. See that one right there, and this one right here, I already got it off. But there's another one, there's another one, there's another one, another one, another one, so forth. After you start unhooking those, it'll just start popping off. And it's off. Yours will probably be a little easier only because I did glue mine's together because it had a little bit of a gap. So I used clear silicone basically for aquariums. Stuff works amazing. If it holds a 50-gallon tank as it does with all that weight, it'll hold this stuff with no problem. Okay, so now I'm gonna try to get in here. I gotta use Goo Gone to get rid of that flag. It's really on there. I got the top layer, but it was a 2-layer. The bottom one's just stuck on there like crazy. Goo Gone be gone. Alright, I got it all washed up enough. I got this off. I'm gonna sand this. If you notice, there's no cracks over here. I had the 2-layer vinyl wrap here. But right here, there's light cracks where the sun hit it. There was no vinyl wrap. You can see the line. But it had cracks. The sun tears this shit up. I'm telling you, the VLAND are no good. Anyhow, I'm taping this up just like I did that one over there. I'm gonna cover the red and the center brake light. lay this down and make sure you run your finger on that edge. That's the line you're going to cut. And put it on the edge so you don't have to cut. I put it on the edge right here, and right here. You can see. I don't got to cut that part, just right here. Run my nail along these lines. See the fine line? That's what we're going to cut. If you got little pieces left over, just do this. Push it down and put your nail in there. And it's ready to fucking just cut it up. Cut the fucker up. Cut that bitch. Alright, this thing's ready to cut. I'm actually going to tape this one up. I'm going to tape up and then cut both at the same time. Well, one after another instead of cutting this one and then taping that one up and cutting it. Alright, just ready to be shaved. This one took a few minutes. This one took just a couple of minutes. It's pretty easy after you do it a few times. We're just going to work on the black, but I'm going to cut it. Okay, it's all taped up. I'm going to start trimming it. Alright, I started it on Monday evening and it's now Wednesday evening. The paint is really dried and you can see where it shrunk a little bit. You can see more, that's a run, and then the cracks right there. I'm going to sand those with 400 right now. It's just dirt and dust. There's a little scratch right there. But that's from the crack. I'm going to fill it in. This is nice. It had no cracks. Except a hair right here. Just want to show it's coming out good. You can see where the cracks were. I'm going to sand that. Watch. Alright, you can see the scratches are gone. I do have some little pitting right here. I'm going to sand that. Alright, it's ready for the first coat of the paint. It's all taped off. Like so. There. We're just going to paint all this. It's taped off there. We're going to do this. And I'm going to first clean it with some wax and grease remover. And I found that these kind of knives, an X-Acto knife, works better trimming it. I had to redo this one twice because this just cuts better than a razor blade. So I'd really recommend this versus a razor blade. Alright, it's ready for the first coat of the paint. It's all taped off. Like so. There. We're just going to paint all this. It's taped off there. We're going to do this. And I'm going to first clean it with some wax and grease remover. And I found that these kind of knives, an X-Acto knife, works better trimming it. I had to redo this one twice because this just cuts better than a razor blade. So I'd really recommend this versus a razor blade. And I'm going to reinforce it again with this. I just bought 2 new cans today. The plastic flexes, so you can use this. It's up to 200 degrees. This stuff is awesome. Here goes the first coat. Top coat. All right. It's okay, I didn't cover it all. I just want a tack coat, something for it to stick on when it gets sticky from drying. Once it dries, it's not so shiny. But I gotta fill in those scratches. Little by little. I'm gonna do a coat on just the scratches next. Pretty much all on the top part of this. All on the top in the cracks. But I did have a flag vinyl over here. 2 layers, so it didn't crack that. If you have vinyl on it, then sure. If you can find someone to vinyl the black, but that'd probably be like $100 just to do that. But it would work if you buy brand new VLAND lights, and you have them covered. Otherwise, they're gonna crack, guaranteed in the sun. Coat number 2. Not too thick, just enough. Alright, this is the second coat. It's shiny right now, but it'll dry to a matte. The center is where the cracks were. In the center of the screen, right? That line goes that way. As well as this one. That line. So far, so good. Number 3. This is number 3. You still see the cracks. But I gotta let it dry and either sand it after or hit it with one more light coat and then sand it and redo it. And back to this one, I sanded it again because it had a little bit of a wrinkle on the center right here, that line. Just a light wrinkle. I put too much at one time. You gotta really be light with this stuff. One light coat, thin. So I'm gonna hit this again tomorrow. It'll be a 3rd time. I think with this one, I'm gonna hit it one more time, just light coat, and then it'll be done. This one's looking better and better. I think I'm gonna go with the 3rd coat, or no, 4th coat, I think. Yeah, 4th. I'm gonna try it. If it wrinkles, it's not a big deal because I gotta sand it again and hopefully be done. But I got a little bit of dust mark right there. Motherfucker. But it's coming out good. Thin coats, baby coats. Going on 4. Still gonna have cracks. I might have to do it a couple more times. Fourth time I had it. I'll let it dry until tomorrow. It's like 6 at night on Friday, September 30th, 2022. Alright, this is ready to do again. I'm gonna probably give this 2 shots, 2 thin coats. It should fix it. I think it'll be alright. We'll see. This is the second set of coating I'm gonna do. And I'm using 320 to sand these now. 400 in the beginning, I said. It just was taking forever, so 320 actually works. The scratches are very minor. Just cover it. That's set. We just wanted to cover it. Looks pretty good. Alright, I hit this one for the last time. It looks really good. Came out really freaking good. Less is better. You can't put thick coats. Just a bunch of little coats. Looks really good though. I'm really happy with that. And I'm probably gonna kick myself in the ass right now, but I did this last night. I'm not gonna sand it. I'm just gonna see what happens if I try to just paint it again the way it is. I cleaned it off with some wax and grease remover. It might wrinkle, but I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna sand it anyways because it still has scratches. I gotta get this or the cracks out. They look like scratches now. And I'm gonna just try this, but it's probably gonna wrinkle, but we'll see. Okay. Man, if this doesn't wrinkle, I'm gonna be shocked. I'm gonna hit it again if it's fine. So I'm not worried about this. It's just really where the cracks were. My kid just walked by and touched it, so I'm fucked. And no matter what, it's wrinkling anyway, so it's gonna be sanded anyway, so not a big deal. I'll just start sanding it again tomorrow. Can't do that. Lesson learned. You gotta sand it. The wrinkles. Where the U is. I did hit it 2 more times because I had some light cracks showing down in the bottom right here. So I hit it a couple more times, at least 2 or 3, maybe 3, just to feel that. It wrinkled yesterday, and so today I thought I'd hit it kind of heavy, but with 3 light coats, and I think that's gonna work for me. I'm gonna let it dry for a couple days, and then sand it, and then paint it one more time light coat, 1 full thin coat, but as long as I cover it, it'll be done, I think. The other one came out good. Check this out. This is the passenger side. This is the second one I've done. I did the driver. It came out really good. I'm not going to pull the tape yet. That's going to be the real key, because you can pull the clear off the red when you pull this tape off. So I'm going to try something where I soak it to get the tape off, make it easier, and it doesn't pull the clear off the red part of the tail light. It's not good if it does. I should have pulled some off, but I'm going to test it on how I pull the tape off. I think I got to pull back, not up when pulling the tape, because that definitely rips some of the clear off. You got to be careful of that. And most people won't even know that I said that, and then it'll happen to them. They don't watch the full video. That's what happens when you don't watch a full video. Came out good though. So far I've used 3 cans. Excuse me, 2 cans. 2 cans. I've used 2 cans. There's that one. And this one's drying still. I finished this yesterday. So, and I did start pulling some tape off, but I need to not be in a hurry. Don't be anxious. Let it dry and take its time. I'm going to soak it. I love it. So far, 2 cans of VHT paint, plastic paint, high temp, up to 200. These taillights sit in the sunlight, so that's why you need something kind of protective coating, and this is what I'm doing. Trying something new. Haven't seen anybody do this yet. It won't be perfect, but it'll come out to where these taillights look decent. I'm gonna sell them. I did a retrofitting on 2015 taillights and up on a Dodge Challenger on a 2nd generation. Looks fantastic. So far, 2 cans of VHT paint, plastic paint. And I'm using 320 to sand this when I do. When I make sure it's clear. In the beginning of the video I said 400 grit. I'm using 320 to just cut this shit like nothing. 400 will take you too long. Okay, I did hit it 2 more times, so that makes it about 6 times that I've hit it. There is some lint. I'm not worried about that because I'm gonna sand it again with 320. I could see some scratches again, or they look like scratches, but they were the cracks that were patched already, but I wanted to fill them in extra good. I don't want to have to redo this again with sanding it. I just want to sand it 1 time after this, and then hit it maybe 1 good time, cover it, and then leave it alone and let it dry, and it should be done. The other 2 pieces are done. But it wrinkled, this one wrinkled, and this one I just wanted to put a lot on there. But each time I did it, 6 times I did it individually, light, thin coats, but covering it. And then I came back here and whipped it up. Maybe even 7 times on, just not alone on where I saw the cracks still kind of shining through. So you know what, 7 times, not the whole thing, 6 times the whole time, the whole thing, and then filling in the extra little cracks that I saw. Because I don't want to deal with them later. When I'm done, I'm going to let this thing dry for a couple days. I just want to show I started pulling this. And you got to hold it back. Pull back. Not up. Pull back. When you're pulling this. It's real tricky. You'll pull the clear off the tail light. And the tape rips a lot. So then you just back it off and help it off. It's gonna rip on you. Just Grab it with your fingertips and help it, even though it's split. Use your nail to grab it. And pull it back. See that? Got it. But you get the picture. It's slow and tedious. Tape wants to rip, but you're gonna use your tip of your finger to lift it up again. See? Even the bottom will do that, and just or use your nail. But be very careful not to hit the fresh paint. But make sure it's dry for a couple days. I did this yesterday. I trust myself. But see, if I got pieces like this, scratch it up, scratch it up, scratch it up, and then use your fingertips. Don't use a tool, and just use your nail and scratch it off. See this right here? Scrape it down, and just grab it. See, it's hanging now. Just want to grab those. Looks pretty good though. I gotta clean it up, but damn, I'm loving it. Alright, yesterday I got a little carried away and wanted to sand this, and my nail accidentally dug in a couple little nail holes right here. So I dabbed it with some paint, plastic paint, VHT, and put it on there, and I'm letting it dry. I'm gonna sand it. But make sure you let your stuff dry before you start sanding on it, because you will mess it up unless you know what you're really doing. I did for the whole thing. Everything was cool. I was going to paint it today, but I messed up yesterday by just digging like the little piece of sandpaper 320 and digging it like this, but my nail right here got caught in there and put a hole, a couple little slices in there. So I just dabbed it. It's pretty dry, I think. I'm going to sand it a little bit, and then tomorrow I'm gonna hit it for the last time and I'm done. This is what I was doing yesterday and my nail dug in. But now I'm making sure my nail is behind the paper. This is how you do these corners. A little piece of sandpaper, fold it over, and just tedious task of doing this over and over again. I almost got it. Just watch your nail. That's the best way to do the corners. These ones right here, you just do a straight line with a bigger piece of sandpaper. 320, not 400, 320. The paint will cover the scratches, I promise. Alright, this one's done. I'm gonna pull 320. Came out pretty damn good. No cracks, you can't see anything like that. Just needs to be washed. Came out good though. It's gonna take a week and a half for you to do it. It's taking me about a week so far. All right, I'm still working on this bad boy. Just letting this little part dry for sure, since my nail dug into it. Had to redo it. You can kind of see it's messed up right there. Right there, in the center. I'm just gonna sand it probably tomorrow, which would be Thursday. Letting it dry for a couple of days. And I'm gonna stress this to you. If you're gonna do this, you gotta let this dry enough before you throw some more paint on it. It will wrinkle if you put too much. Also, you gotta put a thin coat. After you keep putting layers on, you gotta be careful because it will wrinkle. This wrinkled on me, and I didn't show it, but the wrinkles, you can paint over them with that plastic paint. It'll go away, but it won't look as good at the end. So you're best off just, you can shoot it again, cover the wrinkles, or just sand them. Regardless of what, you gotta sand them. So get it smooth so this will lay smooth and it'll come out really good. Just like this one. This one came out good. Look at that black. I killed it. Fucking killed it. I'm probably gonna sell this set for about 400 bucks. Or I'm thinking about splitting this bitch up and get 200 for this side, 200 for the other side, and maybe like 250 if I part it out. You can't buy these parts individually. You have to buy them as a set. With tax delivered, it's 650 bucks. I bought 2 of them already. They suck. But I think I'll get more money if I part them out. Like I said, you can't buy these. You have to buy it in a set, and if I part it out, people want this stuff individually. They need it. All right, I'm gonna give it the final coat. Well, 2 coats. I'm gonna give a real light coat and then 1 slightly heavier coat. I don't want it to wrinkle. There's a good chance it might. We'll see. Real light. A little thick on that. So far, so good. It's gonna be lint on it probably too, but I'm gonna work with it. I'm gonna let it flash, which means dry. We'll see what happens. It's pretty good though. Looks pretty freaking good. This is like 5 minutes after I hit it last. I think I'm gonna stay with what I got right here. Doesn't look too shabby. Like I said, I'm gonna sell them anyways. Just gonna get some of my money back from the actual Mopar taillights that I bought for the retrofitting on my car, instead of these pieces of shit. But now these are actually good now. These are reinforced. People need to do this if you're gonna buy VLAN. I wouldn't buy them, but if you do, reinforce them. Trust me, you'll be sorry you didn't later if you don't do it. I'm loving it. Look at that gloss. But it's still drying, so it's gonna get more dull. I'm more matte, and I like matte. color. Alright. And again, this is the plastic paint I used. Autozone, I think it's like 13, 14 bucks. And here's that one that I fixed just recently. Still letting it dry outside. Looks fucking fantastic, if I do say so myself. First time doing anything like that. For what it was, it looks way better. There's no cracks now. Alright, here's my finished product. Came out pretty good. Could have been better. I didn't videotape when I pulled the tape off and stuff. But you got it on the gist of it when I did this side and the corner one. I didn't do the center one. But it came out alright. Looks a lot better than what it did, that's for damn sure. The hardest one was this side right here. That one right there. You can kind of see in the black, the line. But it came out alright. This one came out good. This one came out good. The corner ones were easy. They really were. The cracks were really bad on the black right there. All along that line, that black line. That's where the sun sat. And this, I had a decal over it so it didn't get cracked. But now it's fixed to where it ain't gonna be able to crack. None of that's gonna be able to crack. All this. If you look at the beginning of the video, most people don't watch all the videos, so they're not gonna see, they're only gonna see a little bit at the end, probably. But VLAND Tailights repaired, VHT paint, up to 200 degrees. That's what you need. It took a while, I'm not gonna lie. I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours doing this. You gotta be patient with it. But now I'm gonna sell it for 400 bucks. Alright, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.